So today it's Sunday and we, as a family, go to church most Sundays. And I don't know if this is the case for anyone else who has gone through hard things, but I have been going to church for a long time, and I get a lot out of being there and being in a community and hearing about God and just the music. Like, I always take something away from it. But I will say that there are certain aspects of church that when you're hurting, I don't know, it can make it hurt worse. And we'll probably talk about that at some other point, like more about how church and just grief in church and how they go together and how it's hard. I'm going to tell you what happened today, and then I'm going to show you a little short clip of me like being in the middle of it. This is like just the trigger of like that wave of grief that can just like punch you in the gut. And I don't know, like this has happened to me quite a few times actually over the last few years of not having our son. And it can be as simple as someone asking, how many children do you have? And I always say too, like I always count Hudson in our numbers because he is our son and always will be. But then they're like that one I anticipate now. But there are some others that I don't always anticipate all that well. Like if I, like at the gym or at church, like places like that where you're checking in your family, you know, to childcare, or you're checking in children to childcare, summer camps. I mean, it just kind of happens. Insurance forms, tax forms, when you're filling out paperwork about your family and you know that someone's missing from the lineup, you know, and that like the first year we had to fill out our taxes. Last year was the first year we weren't, let me think about that. Yeah, last year was the first year we didn't claim Hudson on our taxes since he passed away. You know, it just things like that, where just like you're just trying to do your normal day, your normal life, and then that just mama grief just wraps up your soul. And that happened today. And so I'll just share now with you. And I will just tell you, like, it's not the best footage. I was at church, the music was going, but it was in the moment, and I had literally just wiped my face from like sobbing in the bathroom and had pulled myself together enough that I wanted to just capture like that moment on video for myself and for anyone else who has had just that grief that catches you off guard so much, and that it could happen in a place like church that is a positive place for you, a place that you love to be among people you love and who love you back and know your story and care about your story. But then you have this moment that just rocks you. So I'm going to lead you to that now, and then I'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. So I have no idea if you're even going to be able to hear me because I'm at our church, and sorry. We've had a good morning. It was freezing outside, and I just had to duck into this side room. Check-in has always been so hard for me at church because they ask me, how many children are you checking in? And so, of course, I only have Graham to check in. I don't have our son Hudson. And then I look down, and the child in front of me, his name is Hudson. Like, I couldn't pull it together, guys. I start sobbing right there in the check-in line in our church. People are so kind. I just slipped away and then collected myself. But I wanted to get this on video because I It's almost been 3 years and it still kills me. And I know I'm not by myself. I'll talk about it more later when I'm a little more composed and can be a little louder. All right. Okay, as I rewatched the clip, I was actually more composed than I remember being. Because I'm remembering, like, there were children in the bathroom when I went in there, like they were using the bathroom. There were 2 little girls, and so I was trying to not scare them, but like honestly, like I was leaning against the wall crying. And again, I've had this happen before, where Graham was playing on the playground at church, and I heard a mom call out, Hudson, Hudson, and like I just like freeze, and it's almost before I could even have a thought, the tears are there. But that moment in particular, that day, it was more than a year ago when that happened, when Graham was playing with a little boy named Hudson, who was the same age as our Hudson. I actually have a picture that I can maybe share of that would still, like, it would show you, like, it won't show the little boy's face, but if I can find it, I'll include it, of the little boy playing with Graham, then with his name being Hudson. And then I heard Graham running around and calling Hudson's name. It's been more than a year, and it still kills me because I should be on a daily basis hearing Graham run through the house calling Hudson. And it doesn't happen. That's one more layer of loss. When you lose someone that's supposed to be in your house and they aren't there, that name cannot be said anymore. If you're not careful, you can, or only say it in like some sacred way, when like we say his name every day, but it's still not the same as our 4-year-old calling out for his 3-year-old brother and being like, Hudson, come play. And I don't have rose-colored glasses that they wouldn't bicker and fight and shove each other and do all the things that a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old would do. I'm sure that would happen and make us all crazy. But of course I would long for that normal rather than the normal of not hearing my son call out for Hudson. So anyway, so that's what happened today. We were just going along, normal day. Like I said, it was freezing out, and we made it to church. We shoveled yesterday to get out of this. We had a lot of snow, and we were like, we're going to make it happen even though it's cold out. We're going to get to church, and our church is in a new building, and so it's just still really exciting and everything. And we just walk in, and we're doing check-in, and I look down, and they print the stickers to put on the kids' backs, and I look down, and Graham was next in line, but the little boy right in front of him, his name was Hudson, and I literally lost it. And so, I'll just say, like, you handle it however you handle it. Don't apologize for how you do, and thankfully a friend was standing there, and I looked at her and I was like, that little boy's name was Hudson, and I'm losing it. My husband's there, and this sweet friend is next to me, and I just kind of pulled to the side of the wall, composed myself enough to walk through the lobby, and then just kind of found a little room I could duck in for 2 minutes. Well, I went to the bathroom first and sobbed and tried to not scare these 2 sweet little girls, and then got myself together enough, and then I ducked in a room and composed myself a little more to then try to capture the moment for myself and for you, just to say, hey, like, you're not the only one who gets triggered. But I will just encourage you, don't run away. Like, don't say, I could say, you guys, I'm not going back to church. I'm not going to put myself in these situations. But the reality is the situations are going to come no matter where you go. So if you get triggered at the gym checking in your child, or if you get triggered at a birthday party, or you get triggered with hard questions or whatever, don't run from those relationships. Don't run from those environments just because it makes you have a gut punch. It makes you sob against the bathroom wall. And, because I can do that. I can just say, I'm not going to put myself in that situation or whatever, but they're going to come. So I would just say, for myself, I just give myself permission to sit in it for a few minutes. And I cried through the service, and Corey was was sad with me and like put his arm around me, and I just cried, and he cried, and it's just yuck, but the service was so good. And just learning about, like, what kind of name are you making? Are you making a name for yourself, or are you making a name for God? And my name doesn't mean much, like, I know I'm valuable, and my family cares about me, and God cares about me, but ultimately what name matters, and it's God's. And so That was so helpful for me to hear that in the midst of my own pain. And in that, like, just so clear that God loves me and loves you, and that he knows your story, and he knew that I was crying in the bathroom, and he, like, just that God's in all of it, even though it hurts so badly. So anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit about my morning with you and let you know that you're not by yourself if church is really hard, and you're not by yourself if you get triggered and you have to go cry in the bathroom. I've cried in so many bathrooms: hospital bathrooms, church bathrooms, YMCA bathrooms, Wendy's bathrooms, McDonald's bathrooms. I've cried in a lot of friends' homes' bathrooms that they don't know, that I just slip in and shed some tears. Sometimes I tell them, depending upon the situation and the friend. But anyway, just know you're cared about, and that I do these videos and this vlog for you because makes me want to cry again. To have someone who would be honest about their emotions and tell me in their tears that I'm normal would have been so helpful. And I did have some of that. But I'm making this very public and very open because I know. I was just texting with a mom yesterday. Her daughter is 23 years old, just died of heart disease 3 weeks ago. I'm like, and she is just buried in her grief. You're the kind of person I'm making this for, that you are not by yourself. You are not by yourself in your pain, and you can have days of laughter, and you can have days where you feel you have purpose again, and your life is not over if you outlived your child. Your life is not over if you've outlived your child. Your life is not over if you've outlived your child. And I will say it again and again, even though you feel part of you is dead. So that's why I take the time to let you see my pain and let you see my tears, because I'm not alone in it, and you're not alone in it. And let's do it together, friends. Let's do it together. Will you please share the name of the person that you've lost below? I would love to know their name, and if you feel comfortable, like their relationship to you. And please reach out, because please don't be by yourself in your pain. I beg of you, don't be by yourself. Please follow along. Join me in your journey of grief and follow our story of our tagline is family, faith, adoption, and hope in child loss. And I pray that you will come along for the ride and let me know who you are. Bye, friends.